Hello, people. What's up? It is Monday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and you know what time that is? That is chaotic conversation time. And as usual, we have the usual suspects here in the house. That being Anzo, Maz, Mama Bear, and Terrence. How you doing?
What's up?
Doing good.
Cool,
What's
cool.
up? What's up?
Well, I want to go through one question first, and then I'll go around and let everybody introduce whether about their channel, anything you want to say about your channel, promote your channel, speak on it,
Hmm.
and we'll continue. Now we're gonna do something a little bit different here now because it's three questions, and I know everybody want to make sure they get their point out, and I want to make sure everybody get a chance to speak how they want to. So I'm gonna have a 5 minute timer. So whenever the individual is talking, I'm gonna ask that don't interrupt him or her. And then after the 5 minutes, we're gonna go ahead and let anybody want have any questions or anybody want to say anything about it. We'll have a little brief conversation, and then we go on to the next person. But
Cool.
tonight we're going to talk. We're still doing a list. I had a versus three versus one on one fighting. Who would win in a fight? The first one is going to be Spider-Man versus Deathstroke. Spider-Man versus Deathstroke. We all know who Spider-Man is, aka Peter Parker. Deathstroke. I can't think of his civilian name, but basically he is a badass. So I'm gonna let Anzo start it off. And
Not a
like I said,
problem.
I'm going to give him 5 minutes. He can use the 5 minutes, or if you don't want to use the 5 minutes, that's fine. But
No
whenever you're ready
problem.
to go,
Yeah, for this one, I don't think I'll need the full 5 minutes, but my
all right.
first choice in this one it would be Deathstroke. I think Deathstroke would fucking kill Spider-Man, basically. Um I and again, we have different variations of Peter Parker as well, right? But I don't think Deathstroke or Peter Parker would be able to beat any variation of Deathstroke. I think he's just way too powerful. Plus, if I'm not mistaken, if Terrence can remind me, he was trained by um, same people that trained Batman, right? See?
League of
Yeah,
Shadows.
some of
Yeah,
it. Yeah, some of it.
some of it. Yeah, League of Shadows or whatever. Yeah, so definitely I'll go with fucking Deathstroke. That's my choice.
Okay. Dog Anzo, you only use less than a minute. I'm very
Yep, I
proud
know.
of you. Dog, let me go ahead and reset it back.
When we go to the next one, that's when I'll probably talk more.
Okay. Next, we're gonna let Maz Mama Bear. The question again is one on one. Who would win in this fight? Spider Man versus Deathstroke. Your 5 minutes starts now.
This is one actually I went back and forth on. I My first instinct was Deathstroke, but I know Spider-Man has actually faced off against very similar villains that have, again, the same styles, the same hunting techniques. I think it would be a very close call. It would be a long battle, but I do have to go with Deathstroke on this one. So it would be a good challenge.
Good choice.
I'm just saying that because I don't agree with your next one.
You're right.
So who the Maz pick again? I had to step away for a minute.
Deathstroke.
Deathstroke. Oh,
I think it would be a long fight because the Spidey senses would give him an edge. But at the end of the day, I think Deathstroke's techniques would win out.
okay. That is 2 for Deathstroke and 0 for the Wall Crawler. All right, Mr. Terrence, you are next, sir, and your 5 minutes starts now.
All right. Let's see. Spider-Man has his superhuman strength. He has a spider sense. He has some combative abilities, but in terms of fighting techniques, Slade has that over him all day. So I think that, and he's also a master tactician, Slade, and his aggressiveness is there, which often will give him the edge over many of his opponents that are hesitant. Peter Parker is very hesitant in any sort of battle situation, which is a weakness that I've seen his enemies exploit time and time again. So really, the only advantages that Spider-Man has over Slade would be his spider sense and his super strength. But Slade himself has some variant of that, but it's not as significant. So I think that what would happen is you probably have like maybe a 5 minute fight and really only lasting that long because his spider sense would help him. But since Slade is really great at fighting, what's going to happen is as soon as he dodges something, he's going to get hit by something else. So I picture Slade, maybe jamming a sword through his head at one point, and then leading to Spider-Man's defeat. And then maybe in certain contexts, Spider-Man could get the victory, maybe using some of his strength to his advantage. But I feel like most of the time I get at the Slade.
Oh my lord. Terrence has said Deathstroke as well.
That's 3-0.
What's up, Trent? Okay. It is my turn. And my 5 minutes short now. I am going to say Spider-Man will win.
Oh, Phantom's on yourself.
Yeah, and I'm going to say that under the pretense that Slade has just killed Gwen Stacy or Mary Jane, and he is pissed off. So he is going to be more aggressive than normal. Spider-Man, I think it's the stronger of the two. It's my understanding that both of them have a healing factor, but Slade's is more pronounced than Spider-Man's is, but he does heal at a quicker pace. I think his spider sense would give him the edge. As we've seen, he can be a little edgy, as we saw in Spider-Man 3, where he fought pretty aggressive against the second Green Goblin. I definitely don't think it's going to be a cakewalk. And then if you also saw on, can't think of the name of the fan thing, but had Spider-Man fought Darth Maul. Everybody thought Darth Maul would definitely beat Spider-Man, but Spider-Man was able to defeat him, and that was a bunch of fans voting to predict the outcome. Like I said, I think Spider-Man is stronger and faster than Slade. Definitely the fighting technique goes to Slade, but I think that in that scenario where he just killed a loved one, maybe Mary Jane, Aunt May, that will bring up the aggression in Spider-Man. That's the aim I'm going to take. So I don't think it would be a quick fight. I think it'd be a long, drawn-out fight. But I think Spider-Man Spider Sense would be the edge, just barely. When I say barely, I mean by the skin of his teeth, defeat over Deathstroke.
Okay, I'm going to call foul because if you're going to put the context like that in there, you got to give us all the same context.
I didn't stop you. You just choose not to use it.
No, if you're going to put something like a situation like that in,
But you said there was a thing where there was Darth Maul versus Spider-Man, and they had Spider-Man beating Darth Maul.
Mm-hmm.
It was close, but yeah,
I can see the link.
No, I believe you. I've
seen it. Darth Maul with the symbiote. That was killer. That was awesome.
I just don't see that happening.
Yeah,
Darth Maul.
I'll take out the anger and the
beatdown,
aggression.
right?
I think that Spider-Man Spider Sense would give him the edge, just barely. I ain't saying it's going to be a cakewalk. I just think that Spider Sense will give him the edge slightly, and he will just win just by the skin of his teeth.
Danny, are you referring to the superpower beatdown on Bat in the Sun?
That is correct.
Okay, yeah, that I do like that program, but as you said, it is like a fan vote thing, so it's not exactly I guess fair. It doesn't really go off of what would actually happen.
I would just use it to strengthen my argument.
Right.
No, I know, but I'm like, Darth Maul has the Force. I can't see him losing to
Hey,
Spider-Man.
Darth Vader had the Force too, but man, look at that one he fight Batman.
I
That
don't
shit.
believe that either.
Okay, I'm just saying that shit. They had alternate endings. I could believe both of them.
Darth Vader just has to choke him with the Force. That's it. Batman can't do nothing.
When I first watched that, Danny, I was like, well, as soon as he flips through the air and tells one
Bro,
of his jokes, then Darth
bro.
Maul could just explode him right then and there.
Yeah,
Okay,
exactly.
how many times we seen Batman beat people that are far superior to him in strength, size, everything else? Because he's smarter than them.
No, you're
That
right.
I'm not making it up. I'm just saying
No,
what
I
we
know,
all
I
have.
know.
I'm just saying what we all seen. Batman was the only human that I've seen that we all saw was able to dodge Darkseid's Omega beams. And Darkseid himself say, "Damn, that's very impressive." So all I'm
well,
saying is, if Batman got time to figure you out and he learned all the stuff, then he gonna have some kind of way to combat it. That is all that I'm saying.
no,
Based
no,
on
I get that position. I do, but it's it's very different with Batman. He's a different proposition altogether.
And you can't beat a Force choke. Batman has nothing to beat a Force choke. I'm sorry. I just don't think so.
I'm just saying. I ain't saying Batman's the greatest detective and all this kind of stuff. I'm just saying this sucker was able to find a way to defeat the whole Justice League. So don't you think if he had enough time to to study um, Darth Vader that he found a way? Because I do remember reading a book. There's some kind of animal that these people have on this planet, and it has like a force bubble, and it protects people from using the force on them. I can't think of the name of it, but I can research it for you. So don't you think Batman would find something like that would help protect them? I'm just saying. Because there's books in
if they
canon that shows there's some kind of people and these damn animals they carry on their damn backs. And the animal projects some kind of field, and whoever is a force user, it will not affect the person that the animal is on that back.
if they write a storyline where Batman is interacting with Force users and stuff like that, they will naturally have him figure out a way to use the Force because, I mean, that's just part of his willpower and his training. He's going to figure out a way to work within the context of that story.
Right. If he could use the Force, then I could say, okay, that evens the playing field, right? But if he has no Force powers,
Right. But
that's
I mean,
why
you know,
That's why Kylo should have fucking smoked fucking Finn.
I
right.
agree.
Yeah,
I agree. But how they did it?
that was
But
silly.
I'm sorry, Terrence. But how they did it on the thing was that Batman knew that Darth Vader had to depend on his suit to breathe. So what he did was do like a bomb or something to short circuit his suit, and he had to focus his force on keeping himself alive and breathing until he was able to reboot the suit. So if Batman could figure out that suit is what helped keeping him alive, don't you think he made some kind of device that would short circuit his suit, and he had to use his force powers to help keep himself alive versus using the force powers against him to fight Batman? I'm just saying a possible tactic.
The DC writers are extremely intelligent, so if they're gonna do that sort of storyline, they'll find a way to make it work. Because otherwise, there'd be no point to the story.
Yeah, I definitely think Darth Vader, if he get a chance to use it, then you're right, he gonna kill him. But like I said, in that superpower beatdown, that was Batman's main tactic. He put some kind of device to short circuit his suit, and he had trouble breathing. And then that's when Batman took advantage. Kind of like in Batman v Superman, when he shot Superman with the kryptonite grenades, he was able to weaken him.
Yeah, they gave him the storyline for that was that they gave him time to study his enemy, which that you do that, then Batman's gonna win. I mean, that's just how it works.
Yeah. Okay. First round was very good. Before we go to the second round, we're going to go ahead and go. I'll start with Anzo. Tell the people they can find you at Anzo.
Yes, sir. You guys know the channel, Bigger Forward Entertainment, where we do all kinds of shows. I'm on the Rule of Three, Chaos Conversation, Chaos List, Square One, Equilibrium, which we didn't have those shows this week. We were very kind of disappointing because I had some real football talk for you guys. But we'll get into that next week, and I'll just hold my tongue on that for now. We also got Storms Live, so you guys check us out. We do some great content and subs to the channels, and hopefully you enjoy the stuff we put out.
Good deal. Next be Terrence. What's going on with you, Terrence? For the people where they can find you.
Oh, yep. What's up, humans? I'm Terrence. Yeah, you can find me on T Virus Terrence. If I don't want to go into it too much, but yeah, that's where you can find me. You can also find me on this channel, and yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, next is Maz Mama Bear. Tell the people they can find you at, lady.
Yeah, you can find Mads Mama Bear here. You can find me at Mads Mama Bear here on YouTube and also on Twitter. I'm doing poetry streams every Sunday. I've got my comics explained on Wednesdays coming out. Thursdays, you can find me on the Queen's Council, but you have to follow me on Twitter to know which channel that's going to be on.
Okay, good deal. All right, second round. Oh, this is going to be very controversial. Let me go ahead and get my timer up now. 5 minutes. Second round. Mano y mano. Man versus man. Superhero versus superhero. Who would win in this fight? Would it be Batman or would it be T'Challa, the Black Panther? 5 minutes. Anzo, you're first. Here we go.
All right. I'm glad you went first with me because I'm pretty sure everyone else is going to have a different opinion on me on this one. But I am going with the Black Panther. That's right. I said it. You can Phantom Zone me now if you want to, but I said Black Panther. Black Panther. Black Panther will beat Batman. When it comes to fighting style, they're basically, especially from this video I watched where they were talking about Black Panther versus Batman, they said their fighting styles were basically one-on-one with each other, almost the same fighting style. They both were tacticians in fighting. They were both smart and intelligent and stuff like that. So they had them as almost equals. But what gave Black Panther the edge was his suit. They said that Batman didn't have anything that would be able to penetrate Black Panther's suit, which was the reason why Black Panther would win that fight. And if you watch the video, I can't remember, it was a while ago, but they made some good points as to why he would win. But when they're fighting like hand-to-hand combat, they're going back and forth, you know what I mean? It's just Black Panther's suit, the vibranium. There was nothing, they said, if I'm not mistaken, in the DC comics that would be able to penetrate that Black Panther suit. So for that reason, I'm picking Black Panther to win that fight. That's my choice.
Okay. Let me write this down. Anzo said Black Panther. Black Panther. Okay. 5 minutes are up. Next would be Maz Mama Bear. You may start now.
Okay. I've said it before, I'm a DC fan first. Batman is a master tactician. This is somebody who does not just have a plan B. He has the full alphabet and then some. And I don't agree with what that those people said. One, you don't know how we're not entirely certain how nth metal and vibranium would compare. That being said, it's Batman. He'd find a way. Like, I love Black Panther, but I gotta side with Batman on this one. You never can to know.
Okay.
Boo.
Maz go Batman. So now it's 1-on-1. Let me reset the clock. And next will be Mr. Terrence. You can start, sir.
Yeah, yeah, I would definitely destroy those humans in a conversation. Like, based upon that, like, I could tell they don't know shit about these characters. Number one, Iron Fist is the best martial artist in the Marvel universe. Best martial artist, and then Shang-Chi is a close second. Um, and Black Panther is nowhere near the fighter of Iron Fist, not even close. Batman is someone that knows every single form of fighting. He can use every single weapon. So, from a combative standpoint, Batman is definitely over T'Challa. That's not even a fair fight when you talk about sheer skills, whether that be in or outside of their respective suits. In terms of there not being something that can penetrate the vibranium, that is ridiculous. Like Stargirl's staff would just completely go through T'Challa's suit, or they could just use some of their magical items to disable, something like a vibranium suit. So like stuff like that is really only impressive within the context of Marvel because DC has a lot of hack stuff anyway. So I just find that kind of laughable. But in terms of a fight, I feel like again the combative goes to Batman. He's a master tactician and strategist. He's a brilliant detective. Um, in terms of intelligence, they're almost the same, but I feel like Bruce Wayne just has these really crazy ass feats, like his ability to dodge Darkseid's Omega beams or disable the entire Justice League. And in the Justice League, the 7 core members are already greater than your standard Avengers team anyway, because they have Superman. That's not including Flash, Wonder Woman, and so on. But like for him to do that, I find it really hard to believe that he can't handle one Black Panther. That's just silly to me. So I feel like at first he might be surprised that he has that sort of suit, but I mean he's dealt with people like Cyborg and figured out a way around his technology, which is connected to Darkseid, and you have the whole New God stuff and all that kind of stuff. Like he'll figure out a way to do that. Give him so many minutes, and like I said, I think the lasting of the fight itself will not be so much that Batman can't handle him in a fight, but more so that he's trying to figure out a way around the protective suit that he's wearing. All he has to do is disable that, and then after that, he'll just handle him and beat him.
Okay.
Well, the
So
video I'm watching, which is the Death Battle one, because I went back to it, they said they scoured the comics and there was nothing that they saw in any DC comics that could penetrate Black Panther's vibranium.
Yeah, I saw that one, and they're often known as being very biased, so I don't really take everything they say into account. Like whenever I go into their death battles, I watch them for the sake of being entertained, but they're always going to lean more towards one side than the other. I'm just like, that is just absolutely ridiculous that the DC universe has nothing to answer to vibranium. That's ridiculous.
Well, I don't know from what they say it is, so I don't know
Yeah, but
about if they're biased or anything because I don't watch enough of their videos. But
they're very biased,
Yeah.
and they often lean towards the most popular character at that time. And Black Panther has a lot of hype, so naturally, I figured they were going to lean towards him winning, and that's what they did. I'm like the extent of the DC universe in terms of comparing it to Marvel ceases to be impressive outside of their own universe. There's only like a couple of things that are really impressive in comparison to what would be considered basic in DC is too powerful over there in the Marvel universe. Like no matter what they mention, but I can't really, talk to them through that video, but I'd be happy to school them, because usually what they do is they do like a lot of humans where they go on the internet and they pick out bits and pieces of information to look like they know what they're talking about, and they're coming from it from a normie perspective. But I'm like, that's not the same thing as talking to someone that has spent years with the characters. And then you can then break down everything that they're saying. I'm like, what are
do
they
you
talking
actually
about?
know that for sure? You don't know if they're real, actual fans and they've been following comics for years.
Based upon what I saw from their videos, very biased. the way that they present their
They
stuff,
could be biased.
while they present their stuff in a certain way, it does come across as normie-ish, meaning they just give you just enough to do their video, which is a breakdown, and then they have them fight.
No, I'm saying they could be biased. That's all fine, but we don't know if they've been fans of comics for years, though. Can't say that.
No, we don't know, but again, going off of what I've seen from their videos and the way that they break stuff down,
No, I
that's what
understand
they
that.
come across to me.
No, I
They come
understand.
across as normies. And if it is the case that they are fans, it's very sad to me that they go from just those basic things and think that that's the equivalent, and then do a fight and then have this person win. I'm like, that wouldn't happen like that. There's no way that would happen like that.
I haven't seen enough of their videos to talk about that, so I can't even say anything about that. I really can't.
Kavari is saying in the chat that they are Marvel fanboys.
Exactly. You can tell. It's like I've seen it too many times, and I'm like, they're gonna have Black Panther win, and it's like being biased is not necessarily inherently wrong, but it makes their viewpoint and their opinion questionable and a little less valid in my eyes. Because I'm like, no matter what is presented to you, you already have your mind made up. I can hit you with all the facts in the world, and it's not going to matter because you've already made your decision. Those types of humans are not very pleasant to talk to because they don't listen to reason.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't look for the facts to suit your argument. You look for the facts for the facts.
Yeah.
Second question: Batman versus Black Panther. I'm going to start my 5 minutes now. I'm going to go with Batman because I just think that Batman has been doing it longer. I think he's a master tactician to keep coining that phrase. He knows all the known fighting arts known to man is in his repertoire. He is a master detective. I think that if given enough time, Batman probably would find Wakanda. And who's to say he was in being that he's a master disguise? Who's to say he couldn't infiltrate? I'm just kind of stretching, but I've seen he infiltrate all the different crime bosses, this kind of stuff, and he's able to synthesize his own version of a lot of things or antidotes to a lot of things. So who's to say he might get his hand on his heart-shaped root and inject himself with that stuff and be on equal terms? Just a theory, not saying it's going to actually happen. But I think if Batman was surprised, T'Challa would have the upper hand. Yeah, a total surprise attack. But is Batman ever really surprised or unprepared? But I think if Batman is given enough time, weeks, months, to study and to formulate a plan, I think that it wouldn't even be close. Now T'Challa is a bad brother, but as we saw on the movie, when his powers are removed, he can't be beaten by a more skilled fighter. I think Batman is a more skilled fighter, hand-to-hand combatant than T'Challa is. So I'm going to give the edge to Batman. I'm not saying it's going to be easy or a cakewalk, but Batman, I'm just saying to be able to prepare a contingency plan to disable all of the core Justice League is a big feat. So I think definitely that if he can do that for 7, he can more than capable of coming up with a plan to neutralize Black Panther. So I'm leaning towards Batman.
Okay.
Yeah, I remember when he went up against Ulysses Claw or M'Baku or any of the number of other Wakandans. I'm like, their fighting skills are nice, but they're not very versatile. You know what I mean? Like Batman is trained to adapt. He actually exercises a lot of Bruce Lee's philosophy with Jeet Kune Do, like your ability to adapt to whatever opponent you're fighting, because you have the best aspects of everything that you need in a fighting situation. So the Jabari and all the rest of them, they're very limited when it comes to the entire spectrum of fighting.
Okay.
Well, I mean, I just watched they made Darkseid beat Thanos, and they made someone else I just watched, so they can't be that biased.
See, something like when it's like straightforward like that, it's really hard for them to get around it, so they just tend to do it. But if there's any breathing room where they can lean more towards one side or the other, they will.
But
They will
they
go to the
have
other
Hulk
side.
losing to Doomsday as well. So I mean,
Right.
they can't be that biased if they're picking DC villains to people to win too.
Well, yeah, but that goes into what I just said about if it's like a clear one shot, there's no way that you can spin it, they will do that. But if there's a way to spin it, they're going to lean towards Marvel, which is their favorite. In those situations, I'm like, there is no way. I'm like, I don't care how hard they try, they cannot spin those particular matches, and they didn't.
Well, I
Okay.
think Hulk would beat Doomsday.
He cannot.
I
He
think Hulk
cannot.
would beat Doomsday.
No,
No.
I think Hulk would beat
I think whatever planet they're on would pay the price, but no,
I think they would.
Hulk
Like
tires
Hulk,
out eventually.
yeah, Hulk is weak sauce compared to Doomsday, who was put there specifically to annihilate Superman, which is already on a different level of strength. So I'm like, no, like I didn't need a death battle to tell me that Doomsday can annihilate Hulk. That's like a no brainer. Doesn't require any thought.
All right. We're going to the third and final round. This one is Superman versus Thanos without his Infinity Gauntlet. Who would win in the fight? Superman versus Thanos without the Infinity Gauntlet. We are going first with Mr. Anzo again, and you can start now.
Yeah, I don't even have 5 minutes on that one. I'll just say Superman.
Okay. You just gonna say not
Yeah, that's it.
tell us why?
Superman.
Okay. All right. Next would be Mads, and you can start now.
Yeah, I'm going with Superman as well. I mean, Thanos, Superman is faced off of Darkseid, and Trigon, and a whole bunch of other high level beings. Thanos, honestly, he should just stay in bed that day.
Okay. Alrighty. Third is Mr. Terrence, and you may start now.
Oh, yep. So yeah, this is another one that requires no thought. It's just Superman all day, every day. And then like we don't even have to go to like the more extreme versions of Superman. We could just stick with the original. I'm like, this dude is carrying planets on his back, sneezing away galaxies, and he's fighting people like Spectre. He's fighting people like the Anti Monitor, Black Adam, Darkseid, Doomsday, and he manages to beat all these people. Like even with the Anti Monitor, when he just decided to kill this dude with one punch. It was just like he just got mad enough and he was like, I'm done. No more universe gone. No more watching my friends die over and over. You're done. And he did literally what we call the Superman punch, which is where they got the One Punch Man anime thing anyway. So in terms of Thanos, he's powerful. He's one of the most powerful Marvel characters. But again, I'm like, man, those Marvel characters, most of them are really not that impressive next to DC characters. I'm like, it's one thing if he can just do something to like Odin or Galactus and all that kind of stuff and not die. And it's another thing if he's fighting, for all intents and purposes, what is literally a god. That's basically what Superman is. He doesn't have to go like, well, I'm going to get madder and madder and I got to use 100% of my power and all this stuff. I'm like, he never has to do that because he is what he is. He's just really hacked. And the way that he's able to function in his own universe is because you have other hacked characters in different areas that can deal with him in one way or another, whether that be temporarily or whatever the case may be. But I'm like, Superman is just ridiculous. I'm just like, every time that he gets defeated, which he has been, I'm just like, there are varying circumstances that allow him to lose. So I'm like, if he goes up against Thanos and Thanos doesn't have that gauntlet, Thanos is done. But to be honest, if you're gonna do Thanos with a gauntlet, then I might as well just do the best versions of Superman. I don't care if it's Strange Visitor, you do Cosmic Armor Superman, Superman Prime, like all that shit would nullify the gauntlet, and he could just wipe him from existence entirely. So I'm just like, it doesn't matter what version you use. Like Superman is just too much for that character. In fact, I think Thanos would try to run to go get the gauntlet because he's out of his league. It's one thing if you got to deal with them Avengers. It's another thing you got to fight Superman. He's probably gonna talk some shit like, "Yo, where's your team?" You're gonna be like, "Motherfucker, I know Avengers. Like I'm a member of the Justice League. All you need is me. The rest of the team is chilling, drinking a lemonade back at the base. And he's just gonna wreck them with one punch. Done. Over. Dead."
Okay. So we got 3 Superman, and the question was Superman versus Thanos. I think we're gonna make this 4-0. I do agree that Superman, even though he's not one of my favorite characters, but I will agree that I think that he is definitely will outclass Thanos. Um, I don't know about those other versions, but Thanos with the gauntlet might would give him cause for pause. But if it's just a plain Thanos no gauntlet, Superman would definitely win. He just has too much strength, too much other powers. I just think that he would just overpower Thanos. I'm not going to put a time limit how long I think it would take, because we have seen that Thanos can take some punishment. I'm not saying that the Avengers are in the class of Superman, but they aren't slouches either. And he's able to handle the top 3 dogs of the Avengers pretty handily. So I don't know if Superman would have a cakewalk, so to speak, but I definitely think that he would win the fight at the end of the day. So we're gonna have a bonus round because I came up with one more that I saw here. I had a list of 13, so we're gonna do one more.
Oh, if I may, Danny, I just wanted
Yes.
to add, like, man, that shit didn't make no sense. It's like this is the shit I'm talking about. Like, Superman's my boy, but like, real quick, Cosmic Armor Superman, like he's a fusion of like Ultraman and Superman together, right? So
Mm-hmm.
in the context of that storyline, you had like one of the monitors, which were the Watchers of the DC multiverse. One of them went bad, and they summoned as many Supermen as they could to stop the problem. And you had within the story, the writers and the editors are involved. In which case, the Superman character can see the writers and the editors. So basically, in order for him to stop this monitor character, he completely removed him from the comic book storyline entirely, to where the writers couldn't even write him back in. Like that's the ridiculous power that that version of Superman has.
Okay. All right. Final round. This one is going to be one. I don't know what you're going to say about it, but it's going to be Doctor Doom versus Sinestro. Doctor Doom versus Sinestro. Who would win? Anzo, you're up first.
I don't know, but I'll go with Sinestro just because he has the power of the Green Lantern. I know Doctor Doom is smart and can find a way to get the ring off him, but I take that ability away from him, and I think Sinestro wins. That's who I think.
Okay. You said that would be Sinestro.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll go with that. Next is going to be Maz Mama Bear. What do you think, man?
Mm. Okay. Doom is not something to shrug down, but at the end of the day, everyone gives in to fear. I gotta say, Sinestro. And I think he wandered away. Okay. Anybody else there?
Yeah, he should be back momentarily, but I think
There
he
you
should
go.
I'm
hear what
sorry.
you said.
I apologize. I had about 2 of these things going on. Okay. Tell me who you said again, Mads?
Sinestro.
Sinestro. Okay.
Yeah.
Alrighty, Terrence, you up next. Who do you think would win between Doom and Sinestro?
That's actually a pretty good fight, actually. I don't think that Sinestro would have to give in to fear. I know that there's an idea that everyone gives in to fear, but that's simply not true. Like I don't do that, and like the standard Green Lantern members, they don't do that either. Like there's always a way to use your willpower and your positive energy. You just have to be in a certain state of mind continuously and never waver to the darkness or the weakness. So whether Sinestro is a Green Lantern or Yellow Lantern, um, I think that Doctor Doom's intelligence and the way that he dispatches the Fantastic Four, and he's also an Avengers villain. I think that will help him hang in there a little while before Sinestro uses the power of whatever ring, respectively, in that fight to crush him. But I think that if you take in consideration any of his electrical or force field based abilities, based upon whatever science that he happens to be using at the time, you could get a drawn out fight. But I still think that Sinestro will eventually win, unless Doctor Doom just happens to have just that one calculative moment that's like, up, I caught you slipping. Like it would have to be something like that in order for Doom to win. But I kind of, to not disrespect Doctor Doom, I don't want to count him out because I feel like the thing that often beats him is the fact that he's stupid in the sense that he's a really smart person that makes stupid decisions, and in his ability that he'll have the edge, so to speak, and in these situations he'll more or less have the victory. He just has to finish the person off. Like he does the equivalent of like, you got two fighters in the octagon. The fighter knocks the other fighter down, and instead of him going and doing the ground and pound or putting in a submission or something, he walks away and cheers to the fans. I think some shit like that would lead to his demise, like his more silly characteristics during battle sequences.
Yeah. Okay. So there's 3 for Sinestro and none for Doctor Doom. Well, I'm going to be going against the grain again. I think Doctor Doom will win because he's a master of science and magic. I think he would find some kind of way to dispel or disrupt Sinestro's constructs. I know, if I'm not mistaken, in the comic book, green is the weakness for the Sinestro Corps, as well as yellow is the weakness for the Green Lanterns.
Yeah,
Is that correct? So I think
yeah,
Doctor Doom is smart enough to demise that and come up with something to try and to get the upper hand. As we saw, Doctor Doom was able to fool and take the power briefly from the Silver Surfer, who was a cosmic being. So Sinestro is not even cosmic as his comparison to Silver Surfer, and Doctor Doom
yeah,
was able to get the upper hand on him. So I don't shake my head at Doctor Doom's intelligence. I do agree with Terrence that he's kind of like his weakness is his overconfidence. Sometimes overconfidence can be a weakness if it's used correctly or used with someone who has a brilliant and tactical mind, like Batman. Batman would exploit Doctor Doom's overconfidence and get the upper hand. I don't know if Sinestro is as intelligent and smart as Batman. In fact, I know he's not. So I think
no,
if Doctor Doom got the upper hand, and stayed focused, he would easily beat Sinestro.
yeah, no, those
Because without the ring,
very, yeah, yeah,
he was able to get the ring off. He was able to get the board from the Silver Surfer. So if he's able to get the
right.
ring from Sinestro, then he will defeat Sinestro.
Right, like I think that this one, like the Batman versus Black Panther kind of thing, like there's certain fights where I can concede that the other person could win, but it's just more of like what you would get most of the time. So like taking the Silver Surfer's board is a very impressive feat that only few individuals in Marvel has even done. But like, I think that would help him. But I think that it's important for him to not make a mistake, and it's really hard to be perfect in a fight. But when dealing with someone like Sinestro, you want to make as few mistakes as possible. If you can avoid them, that's the best thing to do.
I agree. We're gonna go through some of the chat. If they have any questions and comments. Mad 1306 said Spider-Man is stronger than Deathstroke. I agree. Also said Darth Maul would have defeated Spider-Man. Well, I'm just saying. I think did they have alternate endings on that superpower beatdown?
Yeah, yeah. They had one on that one. They had a few of them. Like usually they do an alternate ending if the voting is like neck and neck. Like
Yeah.
in terms of the
I know
percentage.
they had one, I think the time Wolverine fought Wonder Woman, if I'm not mistaken.
Right,
Whenever
right. Yeah.
um Batman's so overrated he will beat anyone. He's not overrated, bro. He just that damn good.
Yeah, overrated implies that he doesn't deserve the praise and stuff like that. Like he very much is fitting for the praise, but it's really just more of I guess how much someone knows about him outside of the movies that they watch, like really knowing the character. But sometimes you can surprise people with the stuff you can tell them because the movies only show so much.
Yeah. Trent Graham said, I think Deathstroke will win. Spider will win. Spider-Man has some martial arts training from Shang-Chi, but Deathstroke has been trained by multiple people. Austin, that is probably the hardest question to answer, but I would have to say if he had enough prep, Batman would win, but Black Panther would win otherwise.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Like I said, as long as I can see that it's possible that the other side can win, I like it. It doesn't bother me. It's only when I see something that I think is a slaughter when I didn't have an issue with that sort of stance.
Kavari says Batman. Why? Because he's Batman, pretty much. Batman is always 3 steps ahead.
Batman lets you think he's 3 steps ahead.
Right.
Kavari said
Really
Terrence
be
is right.
5.
They are Marvel fanboys.
Like you can tell, right? And it's like, I mean, I guess it's hard to really know someone, but it's just always in the way that a person talks and presents themselves. Like, because for me, I love both Marvel and DC. I'm a bigger DC fan, but I'm not a DC fanboy in the sense that I don't like anything Marvel. That's what a fanboy is that they always lean towards that one side and they will never under any circumstances heed to anything coming from the opposite end.
This is a good one right here. Batman and Wolverine.
Oh,
Oh,
they showed that. Did you see that one
yeah.
on Death Battle?
Uh-huh. I think Wolverine beat him, didn't it?
The first time, the first time they did, like they were
Alternate
fighting
endings.
and yeah, like he stabbed him when he was calling for Alfred's help, and then I guess he bled out or whatever. And then the
Uh-huh.
next time, it looked like they were kind of in a garage somewhere, and Wolverine tried to do that same thing that we saw in that first encounter, and he threw something at his face, and like some of the particles, he swallowed and it went in his body and it began to like fuck up all of his organs and insides on a continuous basis. So he was like, it made his body collapse. He was coughing up blood and he was in a position to where it's like, he's like, you're not going to die, but you will never walk again, which means that you can't continue the fight, which means I win. So he kind of put him in that position because Batman was able to study him and figure out, like, okay, this guy just heals from everything. So what can I do to get him to stop fighting? That's pretty much what happened.
Kavari said Daniel Duran, if Batman can beat the Man of Steel, he has a shot at beating Wolverine.
Mm-hmm.
Batman or Wonder Woman? I'm taking Wonder Woman.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we saw that Batman can beat the League, but it's like if Wonder Woman just showed up on a Tuesday and snapped his neck with 2 fingers, I mean, she kills gods for breakfast. I mean, and then when she takes off her her bracelets, she gets like stupid fast and even stronger. It's like it's crazy. So yeah, Wonder Woman is a beast.
Janjo Gameplay says Doomsday is monster. Hulk is just some giant green guy.
Yeah,
No, Hulk's a monster. What are you talking about?
Hulk is a monster. His power set is he operates off of anger, and the anger will push you so far. There's
I need
limitations to that.
I need
Hulk
to go
has
back
no
and I need to go
limitations.
back and read World War Hulk because it was like he was at his apex as the Hulk, but he wasn't angry. And
Hulk
he had
has no.
and he
Hulk
had
has no.
intelligence too.
Hulk has no limitations.
Hulk's limitations is that okay. Look, there's a base power. The Hulk has to get angry. When you're dealing with somebody like Doomsday, it doesn't work like that. He just already is. His
But they
base
said the
function.
angrier Hulk gets, the stronger he gets, and no matter when. No, and I just read it on one of these articles on Google that when Doomsday dies and comes back stronger, Hulk will still surpass him because Hulk has no limit to his power.
That's
That's from
interesting
that's
because
from Marvel Universe.
yeah, no,
Well, if
I
that's the
understand
case,
that, but
then there's no way Thanos could have beat him.
well, no. Like Thanos is on another level. Like Hulk, he gets mad and he builds up to his strength. Someone that has to build up to a specific strength is not comparable to someone already at base strength that already has a lot of strength initially, like Superman, Doomsday, Darkseid, Spectre, the Anti Monitor. At a basic level, they are already too much. In fact, like in the case of Darkseid, his position that you see him in, where you see as kind of a physical being, that's not even the full extent of his power. That's just a fraction of it. Like when he like pretty much makes himself the equivalent of a universe, that's when it's worse. But we don't see that too often. So I'm like, no, these DC characters, their base levels are too much. Too much. It's not comparable.
Daniel Duran says
Well,
Cavari. No, go ahead, Anzo.
no, I was just gonna say no. Well, I've Googled and every article that I've come up with has Hulk stronger than Doomsday, and
Of
these
course
are
they do. Of course they do.
these aren't Marvel or fanboys, bro. These are like they're going through the universe. You know how they have Marvel universe and DC universe where they talk about the characters. They're comparing those. It's not just about fanboys.
Those are the same types of humans that try to convince me that Superman cannot keep up with Ultra Instinct Goku, even though Superman can race against the Flash. Like, no, man, no.
Yeah, but
Don't get on my
They,
Goku
they
subject, man.
yeah, because like they always like they'll present it and go, look at this, look at that, and I'm like, no, you can dissect all of that. I'm like,
My
there's no way.
argument is the only way that Goku can beat Superman. So I don't care what nobody say.
and that's exactly how I feel about Hulk and Doomsday. And I'm reading articles that are telling me the same thing I'm saying. So there's
Okay,
nobody else that can
I
tell me.
understand what you're saying. All I'm saying is, if those articles are true, then there's no way that Thanos could have defeated Hulk as quickly as he did.
But that's Marvel Universe, right? They weakened Hulk. I'm talking comic book Hulk. And
And
comic book
comic book
Hulk
Hulk in that storyline didn't do anything to Thanos.
in which
Nothing.
storyline?
The Infinity Gauntlet storyline when
But
Thanos
he
got
had
all the
he
gems.
but he had the gems already.
I I understand that, but
Okay, so we're talking Thanos without the gems.
he also dumbed down the power due to a request of Mistress Death
But we're
because he was
talking
trying to gain her. He was trying to gain her love,
but we're
and
talking
he
Thanos without the gems. The gems
okay.
add a
Thanos
different level to it
without the
regardless.
gem though, he was still able to fight Galactus and a full powered Odin.
Okay, but we're
Now,
talking about Galactus. He never fought Hulk without the gems, so you can't say what they would have done in those comics.
if Thanos can fight Odin and Galactus, he will fare fine against the
Okay,
Hulk.
so what's his name? Onslaught, when he came around, nobody
Oh
could
yeah,
beat
Onslaught
Onslaught.
is pretty powerful.
No
Yeah,
one
yeah.
could beat Onslaught. Hulk was the one that broke Onslaught. Hulk was the one that beat him.
Yeah, that's ridiculous, but
How
that's
is
not
that
a base.
ridiculous? That's what the
But that's
comic
not.
did.
But that's not a baseline though. That's like saying in the House of M storyline, Scarlet Witch was able to take away all the mutant powers throughout the multiverse. She's not normally that powerful.
Okay, but this was a crossover with all. It had nothing to do with like a regular comic. This was a crossover with X-Men, Avengers, and everything. So it's canon, and Hulk was strong enough to break Onslaught. He was strong enough to beat Onslaught. Jean Grey did her power on him to make him rage, and he beat Onslaught.
Yeah, Jean Grey. I understand that factor in the equation. However, within the Infinity Gauntlet storyline, there is a reason why Adam Warlock had to assemble the remainder of the Marvel universe to fight Thanos. And he wasn't even concerned fully. He wasn't. He wasn't concerned about the gems as much as it was that he was concerned about him being strong enough to use them.
Whether he was concerned about the gems or not, Thanos had the gems. That's a dilemma that adds a different aspect to the fight. All right, we're talking about Thanos without the gems. Thanos without the gems.
Thanos
would hold his own.
In order for Thanos to wield the gauntlet as effortlessly as he did, he has to be extremely strong. That's why they built up to that storyline. If you can, the fact that he was able to.
So who's stronger,
I'm going to use
Thanos
this.
or Silver Surfer?
Oh, that's a good question. I feel like if you look at just the base power level, Silver Surfer can do more than Thanos. However, when you're talking about overall physical strength, Thanos was able to go 10% of the power, 20%, 40% with no effort, which implies that he has like a lot of strength initially. That was the whole point of that story. Not so much that when he has it, he can just snap people out of existence. It was like, this man is stupid powerful to be able to even do some shit like that. Like in the movie when they had Hulk, like when he used the stones and shit, I'm like, that should have killed Hulk. It fucked up his arm, but I'm like,
Hulk's held the gauntlet in the comic.
Yes, and so is Iron Man, and so is Black Panther.
Yeah, okay.
But that's not the basis of what you would get most of the time. It's all situational.
But if they were able to do it, they were able to do it. So that's canon. So Hulk was able to hold the gauntlet. Captain America was able to hold the gauntlet. Black Panther was able to hold the gauntlet. So it has really nothing to do if you're powerful enough.
Scarlet Witch can remove all the mutant powers, but that's not a basic thing. Again, like you can have Batman beat Superman, but it was all circumstantial. It wouldn't happen like that the majority of the time. Every one of these storylines is circumstantial, but you have to look at what the character can do and does most of the time, not so much in these more elaborate, extreme storylines.
But if they do it in those storylines, they do it, right? So they can do it.
I think for the most part, it's just an opinion because I'm reading an article right here where they say the Juggernaut will defeat Superman.
Yeah,
and I don't think we believe that, do we?
No, we do not. But that's what I'm saying. Like, look,
I think it depends on the particular writer's opinion at that particular time.
Of course, but I mean, it's all opinionated. But look, but they're gonna lean towards whoever they feel is gonna win, but it has to be circumstance. They will give you a foundation for how they believe the fight will play out, but it's not necessarily going to play out that way. That's just how they picture it.
But hasn't Superman lost to people less powerful than Juggernaut?
Well, yes.
And Juggernaut's also not a mutant either, so he uses magic, which weakens Superman, correct?
Right, and so does Black Adam, but Superman can beat Black Adam. It's just an irritation. Like person's weakness.
But I get that. But they're not saying that maybe Juggernaut would beat Superman all the time, but there's a possibility that he could.
Oh yeah, because a guy off the street with a kryptonite bullet could essentially come up and shoot him
kill Superman.
Mm-hmm. A lot of times he doesn't die; he just gets hurt by it. Because it also depends on the concentration. But again, this goes back to what I said earlier. You can be in a situation where these characters can win, but I like to look at the overall most likely, not so much.
So the overall most likely is that when Hulk beat Onslaught, the fact is not circumstance. He could have done that before because Hulk has done that before. Hulk went rage and he destroyed every single X-Men and Avenger that was possible. He almost killed Doc Samson. There was only way to stop Hulk at that point was to put him and Bruce Banner back together, and that's how they came up with Professor Hulk. So it's not like that one feat of strength was one time with Hulk. Hulk has had many of those things over the course of the comics.
Thanos is cut from a different cloth. That's why they spent so much time building up to that storyline. He is different.
I get that, but I'm going back to the Doomsday thing.
Well, yeah, but no, he's not going to be Doomsday.
I think he would.
No, absolutely.
I think he would.
Let's just agree to disagree.
If
Y'all ain't gonna
think
change each other's minds.
Hulk beating Thanos is more likely than Hulk holding Doomsday's pocketbook. That shit is not going to happen.
Yeah, well, Hulk, the stronger Hulks get, the matter gets stronger.
He's not going to get to that. He's going to
Yes,
be
he
annihilated.
will, bro.
No, he's not.
Yes,
no,
he will.
Not.
Yes, he
no,
will.
No.
Yes, he will.
Okay.
Yes, he will.
Doomsday's going to
Good
just
Lord. Y'all
punch
gonna
Roman
argue
and
about the
that's
same
it.
thing over and over? Agree to disagree.
I think I came in the perfect time.
No. Doomsday has that easy.
Well, facts on these websites say otherwise. So
Those are not facts. Those are biased opinions. Again.
So how are
the same
all of them
humans-
biased? Like
Because-
I'm looking at way more than one article. How are they all biased?
Because they're going to present intelligent positions, but at the same time, again, these are the same humans that try to convince me that Superman cannot keep up with Goku's speed.
So no matter what anybody says, if anybody says Hulk can beat Doomsday, it's bias.
No.
Come on now, that's ridiculous.
No, not necessarily.
But that's what you're saying because I'm reading more than one article.
No, from the internet, because you're going to find stuff that's going to have Marvel characters beating DC.
But I'm
Marvel
reading
is on
more
an
than one
on-time
article,
high.
bro. It's
I
not like I'm
understand
just
that.
looking at one.
But
I had five different articles
I
up.
know it's all there. It's not surprising.
So then
But
it's all
again,
biased?
No. Maybe those people are. Like, I'm not saying everybody on the internet is biased, but it's very typical the answer that you're going to get. Marvel. That's what you're going to get. And they're not really going to give it any thought in the way that we do. So, no, I don't trust that.
No problem.
To make it simple.
Well, then you do your research and you come tell me what you say.
Well, I mean, I've already told you, like, in a short time. I mean,
yeah,
I can spend 10 hours on it. But to me, Doomsday at his base level is too much for the Hulk.
Oh my God,
it's too much.
Okay, Chris, you want to do some of the questions we had?
Sure. First one was that Batman versus Black Panther?
Spider-Man versus Deathstroke.
Oh,
5 minutes or less.
Okay, well that's a close thing. But I think that the edge there would probably go, I would say, and if we're talking Peter Parker here, it's the Spidey sense that's going to make the difference there. I say Spider-Man.
Okay. You and I were the only two that said that. So
okay.
Everyone else said it would be Deathstroke pretty handily.
It would be close, I think. I'm not saying handily, but I could see it going either way, but I would just go with the Spidey sense and just agility. I know they're both very agile, but I'd say Spider-Man. Okay.
That's what I said as well. Next one is Batman versus Black Panther.
Batman for sure. I mean, Black Panther's got a whole ton of things going for him, but it's just the fact that Batman's like that unique quote unquote superhero. He's like similar to what Tony Stark Iron Man is, but Batman's just grittier. You look at all the different comics, all the things he does. He studies so much before they even meet up. He would know absolutely everything he'd need to know like a chess game. He would have every little move figured out before he even went into there. Yeah, so I don't know. Maybe it's just I can't pick against Batman, but I just say Batman.
Okay. Next one is Superman versus Thanos.
And this is where I'm going to agree.
Thanos does not have an Infinity Gauntlet.
Yeah, no. This is where I'm going to agree with Terrence that if you look up all these websites and stuff, it's like you hear all this Marvel love. Oh, Thanos would kick Superman's ass, this, that. It's like, no. We talked about this when we were talking about the Justice League versus Thanos. There'd be nothing. Superman could do it by himself. Superman, I'd say most of the time is holding back because he's he doesn't want to hurt people. He doesn't want to take the violent route. He tries to find a way to work things out or diffuse situations. But when you push him, when you give him no other option, he will go off in a way that very few superheroes can. Are there superheroes that can beat Superman? Yes. Would Thanos possibly be able to do it with the right circumstances? I guess, but just it's going to happen right now. No, I say Superman does it.
All
Yeah,
right.
see that's an important detail, right? The circumstances always make the difference. But like, to me, that's what's so terrifying about Superman is that whenever I'm reading or watching anything in relation to his character, I'm like, he can win. It's just, when is he gonna do it, or when are they going to allow him to do it? More specific.
And we had a bonus question. Dr. Doom versus Sinestro. Who would win?
Oh, wow. I'll say Dr. Doom.
Dr. Doom. Okay. You and I were the only two that said that.
Yeah, I settled on Sinestro, but I was saying that Doctor Doom could win, but it's just his arrogance might lead to his downfall. So
I could see that.
Yeah, more or less he'd be one of those characters that could possibly defeat himself, not so much all the time that Sinestro would just beat him like nothing.
LDG, I don't think he's immortal, because if that's the case, then Thor wouldn't be able to chop his head off and kill him, and then also the snap wouldn't affect him.
Yeah, I think he is the product. He's kind of like Hercules. He is the product of, and this isn't exactly right either, I think he's the product of death and one of the Celestials, if I remember right.
No, actually, he has
when you are he's definitely connected to the Eternals. They'll probably show that, but it's like that scene where Thanos cut off, or Thor cut off Thanos' head. Like, me and my friends had a very negative reaction to that. I'm like, how did that happen?
Mm-hmm.
It just was like, shoop. Like, I'm like, no, how did that happen? I don't care.
Well, that is how he cut off his head. He went shoop, head came off.
Because isn't Stormbreaker cosmic too? With a cosmic weapon,
it's pretty powerful, but the way that they just had that cut off his head, I'm like, that wouldn't happen like that.
Yeah,
you gotta remember now, he's weakened from 2 snaps from the Infinity Gauntlet.
Yeah, that's the only slight, like, and I do mean slight, why I gave it just a minor pass, even though I thought that was absolutely ridiculous.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, the one hardest originally was the Deathstroke and Superman, I would say, and then the Sinestro, Dr. Doom. Those two are probably ones that are toss-ups any day of the week.
Yeah. Well, we've been on 1 hour and 8 minutes. It's been a very interesting debate. I can see that we're going to definitely have to agree on some of these discussions to agree to disagree, but that's cool, one way or the other. Before we leave here tonight, cool, we're going to go around and start with Azo. Tell people where they can find you at, good sir.
Yeah, what up, people? You know where you can find me, Bigger Ford Entertainment. Like I said, all the shows I said in the beginning, check us out. We do good content. If you like it, you like it. But, hope you guys subscribe to the channel, and we try to do the best that we can to help you enjoy the debates and everything that we're doing. So, much appreciated.
Next, Mr. Chris Knight, where the people can find you at, sir?
Well, you can find me at The Real Review 3000 over here on Danny's channel on Mondays for the Khaotic Conversation, normally on time. And then on Tuesday nights over on Bigger Ford Entertainment, which is Anzo's channel, for the Chaos List. And then on Wednesday on my channel, The Real Review 3000, for the the rule of 3. I'm sorry, gosh. And then I also have the Gospel According to Chris, the weekly Rumble and the weekly wrap up on my show or on my channel. gaming streams, movie reviews, music reviews, all sorts of stuff. But we're in the process of getting some stuff reorganized with the channel and seeing where we can take it after that. So, guys, sorry for being late, but I'm glad I was able to come in for a minute and chat with you guys.
No problem. As Mama Bear, tell the good people they can find you at, ma'am.
Hey, Matt's Mama Bear here. You can find me at Matt's Mama Bear here on YouTube and also on Twitter. Sundays, I do my poetry streams. Wednesday nights, of course, Mondays, you can find me here. Wednesdays, I am dropping my Comics Explained. And Thursday nights, you can always find me at on the Queen's Council. You know what? You got to follow me on Twitter to find out where I'm going to be.
Good deal. Mr. Terrence, T-Virus. Tell the people they can find you at, sir.
What's up, humans? It's Terrence. You could find me on T-Virus Terrence, but I would really like to address this that I see on the screen here.
Go ahead. I was going to address it, but I'll read it. What do you think about Kevin Feige visiting the set of Suicide Squad, which got some fans upset? Remember, Walter Hamada said after he got the job as DC president, Feige called him to congratulate him. I think that Mr. Hamada better be thankful that he got the job, and if he's trying to throw any kind of shade, then he needs to remember his place, because Mr. Feige is doing an excellent job, in my opinion. And if the boss comes on to the show, I don't see where there's an issue. I don't know why the fans were upset. I don't know why anyone would be upset if the guy's just there to take a look at what's going on. So I personally don't have a problem with it.
Yeah, no, like when I found out about it, I was like, well, if I remember correctly, Kevin Feige and James Gunn are friends. Like that whole situation that went down at Disney when they, revealed again that they don't have the balls and they buckle under pressure. I'm like, Kevin Feige, his boss is Bob Iger, at least at the time. And it's like, I don't know if like how hard Kevin Feige fought for them to keep him and then he just was out of his hands. But, I would imagine that if they're still friends, that he would, go congratulate him on, scoring big with DC like that. He has this reputation, and you have the make of all those wonderful DC characters that the normies have to learn about. I mean, there's so many of them, and I'm like, Kevin Feige must have been like, I got to go see my friend. And naturally, I guess you get a reaction out of the fanboys or whatever they call themselves. But I'm like, man, it's nothing to worry about, because they're not. Kevin Feige didn't go over there to like say steal stuff from DC. I mean, he's been very vocal about Christopher Reeve's Superman being an influence for the MCU. So I'm like, he doesn't need to hide anything. He would let us know if he got anything from DC, as he's already done. I mean, DC is DC. Like, who's going to be surprised at saying that, hey, we got something from DC? It's like, yeah, you don't have to tell us that. DC has been around longer. It's like, let's be serious about this,
Yeah. I don't think, like you said, I don't think Kevin Feige was over there trying to cause no stink, in my opinion. I think, and I'll piggyback off what you said. Him and James Gunn are tight. So, hey, what's up? That's what I would do. I mean,
probably was invited over there anyways. You know what I mean? Hey, come check out the set.
It's Hollywood. That's like nobody said that about George Lucas showing up to the Mandalorian set. Technically, he has nothing left. He has nothing to do with Star Wars anymore, but he still was able to come. Don't tell me. I mean, nobody got mad about that. I mean, it doesn't make much sense why people would be mad about that. But
yeah, like it's all competitive and stuff. You just have to, I guess figure out a way to one up them in some area. Like if they're going to, gain something financially, put on like a great performance like Joaquin Phoenix and then win Best Actor, something they haven't done yet. You can rub that in their face. There's always
if my best friend was Kevin Feige, or we were friends of any kind of capacity, I would take any kind of points he want to throw my way. I mean, I don't care. I mean, I ain't saying here, open your playbook, let me read every page. But if you say, hey man, you might want to do ABC 1, 2, 3. I'd be a fool not to take that advice of somebody who I think really actually gave a damn about me. So
Right.
Mhm.
I think it'd be smart to take his business savvy, but once we get into those deeper conversations, I'm like, so what was happening when you like shafted a lot of characters and stuff like that? You didn't do the villains right, and we get into more deeper conversation. Like, so what was your ideas behind that? Did you feel like no one knows anyway, so you just wanted to do that? It's going to make money regardless. Like, I would try to more or less get in his head. Something that you could do when you're a friend of that individual.
Hmm.
Because otherwise, he's just going to feed us surface level stuff like Captain Marvel is the strongest, or hey, we had this plan the whole time, even though they didn't. That kind of stuff.
and last but not least, I am Danny, aka Comic Chat. This is my channel, Comic Chat. The show tonight is Chaotic Conversation, where we had 4 different who would win fights. We had a couple we agreed upon, a couple we didn't. But either way, like I said, that's what makes the world go around. Can't all be alike, can't all agree. Tomorrow night we'll be on Alonzo's channel, which is the Chaos List. We have some questions for us to answer. Please support us. Please join us if you can. It starts at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Then Wednesday will be on Chris's show, which is the Rule of Three. I think that starts at 8. Correct me if I'm wrong. 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
This week we're moving it up.
7.
Yeah, 7. We're gonna do 7 for a couple months.
Okay. For next foreseeable future will be 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time Wednesday nights on Chris Knight's show, the Rule of Three. Me, Anzo, and Chris. We're gonna change equilibrium. The reason being we are competing against NFL, and I'm gonna tell you straight up, I would be not giving it 100% because I keep looking at my phone and all this kind of stuff. So I don't want to disrespect the show. I'm gonna get with Terrence and Anzo and John. We're gonna come up with a different time, different day. That's gonna be better for us because that's just we can't compete with the NFL. I'm not gonna sit here and try and fool myself that we can.
Yeah, I was wondering when you were gonna do that because, like,
Yeah.
you know me. If it's not UFC and some boxing matches, I don't care. But I know that you guys do. So I was wondering when you were gonna do that.
We're gonna do it. We'll talk tomorrow about it, and then on Saturdays we're gonna do square one. College is not too much of a problem because a lot of the colleges aren't playing. So please catch us at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for square one.
I also wanted to say too on the air, Danny, that out of all the articles and out of all the humans that I've talked to about Superman versus Goku, you still remain the only person who has given me one reasonable way that Goku can defeat Superman.
Because I am Danny. I am Danny. I am all knowing, all powerful. I control the Phantom Zone.
Phantom Zone.
No, I'm a Phantom
I'm
Zone.
just like,
I'm going Phantom
I'm like,
Zone.
man, I'm telling you, Danny, like that was very intelligent. I was like, let me think about that one because I'm telling you, Danny, like the rest of these humans, they just be on that silly shit. I'm like, rip. All right.
Tomorrow night.
Oh, Ghostfire, please don't start.
What you say?
Tomorrow.
What you say? Huh? Silence.
I will not.
Silence, Canadian man. Silence.
I will talk.
Silence, Canadian man. Silence.
I'm what you.
Silence.
Seems like somebody got some of my ego.
Nope. Nope. Not I will talk when I want to talk.
Silence.
Yeah. Raiders are winning.
Oh my God! Don't you tell me that.
Huh?
Don't you tell me that.
Who are they playing?
The Saints.
Right, yeah.
They're playing in Las Vegas, up, ain't they?
They're playing in Las Vegas.
Saints ain't used to that damn hot ass heat. Damn.
17-24.
Oh boy. Damn. All right, people. Thank y'all for a fantastic show. I definitely enjoyed it. I don't know what the topic will be next Monday, but I will have it to you as soon as I think of one that's fitting for a discussion or if you have any ideas, please shoot them to me. But until then, we are out.